Do you remember in 2017 they found a cottage underwater? The Pendle Cottage, did anyone see that?
Yeah,
Do you remember not seeing that? The underground cottage? Just around the corner, and they found sort of like mummified cats in the wall, and this was the whole sort of place up here, and it was all down to there was a family there called the Devices. If you've ever heard about the story in Old Dem, the Old Denbigh, this is it. This is her home village. So if any of you ever saw Most Haunted when they were here and they were running around the table after Dem died, yeah, this is the town. They're actually in a little farm that was called Pendle Farm, which is not too far away. It's public land. You can go up and see all these different locations as well. But it was in Barley where they used to live. They used to scrape a living, basically going around begging, asking for little bits and bobs that they could, working for people locally. You know, the family were known to be wise and sort of social workers, if you will, all sorts of different jobs that they would do. And this is what Demdike was, until unfortunately she got sort of brought into a story because of her granddaughter Alison that was walking. Now, any of you guys from Cone? Do you know the Cone, or where are you guys from?
Preston.
Bloody hell, everyone from Preston. Right, you would have driven past Pendle Hill on the way here. Right, in between that is a little town called Cone. Now, one of the Device children, okay, Alison Device, she was only a 12, 13-year-old child. She was walking around these streets asking for, begging, if you will, for a couple of pence, for a bit of bread, anything she could, when she happened to meet a peddler called John Law, asked him for a few things, which he completely dismissed her and left her to it. At that point, she walked away and cursed him a few words. What we'd know now from sort of all of the court records that were wrote down at that time by a gentleman called Thomas Potts, that he would have had a heart attack, if you will. He was taken to the Dog and Partridge and pretty much was left there to rot. Now, this building that's behind us now is called the Barley Mow. It's a proper nice sort of farm, if you will, and it was back in their day. Now, the overnight ghost hunts we do, we face in this location, and we use the Pendle Inn that's over there as well. So we have sort of both of these as our overnight ghost hunts. Now, the reason it's a farm. Now, this local legend is the farm here, many different cattle had died over the years, and many items had been stolen over the years as well, and it's all got based back to this farm. When we do ghost hunts, you can see those 3 windows, there's quite a large room that's in there, and we get a lot of poltergeist activity that happens in there as well. And we focus that a lot around the woman that's often seen walking up and down the long paths. Now, it is a hotel, you can go and stay there. Now, one of the rooms that's upstairs is supposed to be haunted by a young lady called Elizabeth. Nothing to do with the Pendle Witches, but it's just a nice little story that's attached to it. So if you ever get a chance, go and stay in room 2. It's a very haunted location. It's there. Now it's taken to Cone, and he was left to rot. His son did come across and check him out and see that he was okay, and it was him that actually called the local authorities, a gentleman called Roger Nels. If any of you know Worley, that's not too far from Preston, is it? He actually lived in that local area. He was a local justice of the peace, quite wealthy, well-to-do gentleman, Protestant, and he thought, well, you know, I can sort of jump onto this story now and, you know, blow it up as far as I can possibly do, and maybe get in the favour of the King's will, if you will. And he arrested 4 of them at that point. He arrested Demdike, he arrested Alison, he arrested Jane Redfern, who lived up in Newchurch, not far, and her mother-in-law as well. Old Chattock, she was arrested. So the 4 of them were taken up to Lancaster Castle. They were placed up there for at least 4 months before the trial started. Now, that's part of the reason why I wanted to take you to this area. You didn't even tell me. That's part of the reason that I wanted to bring you to this area, was because it was this local area that allegedly there was a meeting, if you will, a gathering. Elizabeth Southern, her mother had been arrested and her daughter had been taken to Lancaster. She sort of made a coven, a meeting, if you will, of people within the local area, Catholics, if you will, and that brought in Alice Nutter. And if any of you know anything about the Pendle too far, there's actually a statue of her now that stands there. You put a picture today, didn't you, of Alison Nutter there, and it's actually got its back to Lancaster. This is supposed to be a sort of defiance against capital punishment, if you will. Now, this meeting was sort of found out. Roger Knowles got a wing, you know, an inkling that it was going on, and decided to come down and arrest everyone that was at that meeting. As he was pulling everyone out, that's when Alice Nutter's name was mentioned. She was arrested and they were taken away to Lancaster. They did have a trial. It was the biggest trial that happened in in England at that time, the biggest witch trial that took place. They were taken up on the Gallows Hill and they were executed, and it was all the star of a 9-year-old witness. It was Alison's younger sister Jeanette that was actually the star witness in the whole sort of process of it, and it was all wrote down in a book, and we know all about it because of that book. So if you ever get a chance, watch it, and also watch The Most Haunted from when they were here as well. Now, years after this, there was a local woman that lived in this area. She was an old woman that lived in the area, and because it was still superstitious, the years after the Pendle Witches, allegedly they dragged her out of her house, believing her to be a witch, dragged her to this area and tied her up to one of the branches here, and sadly, took her life. Now, superstition goes that anyone that was taken or has been killed on a tree, that there would be no moss growing where that rope would swing. Now, this is the alleged tree where this happened, and this is the paranormal reports that have happened afterwards. You can see a few people mulling about, and I guarantee you in an hour when we come walking down that path, there'll be no one around. Right? Not everything is running in a room going, come on, is there anything there? And the second you walk in a haunted building, it's not going to get you. It's at least wait till you walk in a couple of rooms and then get you. Alright? So you just use I'm joking. We use a variety of different tools to look for ghosts and all sorts of different things. Now, these are dowsing rods. They've used them for 2,000 years to find water and all sorts. They're a source of energy, okay? The river's right behind us now, so that's why I need you facing this way, okay? How that lady is doing it, what's your name, sweetheart? Anne. Is exactly how you guys need to be doing it. So yeah, we're just trying to get a communication with spirits. So when you hold them, you get nice and relaxed. Can you just put them down next to your side here? Nice and relaxed, and then just put them up to you, close. That's it. Right. That's it. Perfect. Just nice and gently. Okay? And I want you just to think in your head, okay? Alright, you can say it out loud. Oh, there's another dog coming. Show me my yes. That's what I need you to do. Gentlemen. Nice and relaxed. Show me my yes.
Show me my yes.
Show me my yes.
I don't know if it's just swinging because I'm holding it loosely though.
Yes, so just nice and relaxed.
Show me my yes.
So what you want to do is
show me my yes.
Yours went straight in then, didn't it? So it should be that as soon as it goes in your head, just go. So I want you to say that, yes, and then as soon as you've done that, I want you to say, show me my no. And then you have sort of a yes and a no. See what I'm trying to get at? We're going to take you in the forest, and we're going to...
Ghosts of children would like mess about with them.
Oh, okay.
And don't especially with spirits, the same way, and ghosts and stuff like that. Let us know if it goes off behind you. Especially with ghosts and energies, don't just, don't be frightened to talk to them and try.
Yeah.
Some of the energies, like you were saying about Newsham Park, you'll know about the orphans and everything like that as well. When you go somewhere like that, it's can be very sad, especially where a lot of children have died. So when the ghosts and energies are about, sometimes they're attracted a lot to, especially at Newsham, innit? When women go in, they tend to feel a lot more emotion, feelings and everything, especially at the naughty boys corridor at the top. What I need you to do is humour me in the next couple of minutes. You would have done this for me. So close your eyes, just take in a nice couple of deep breaths. Forget you're in the middle of Pendle Hill with witches and all that weird sort of stuff, and just relax. Nice and calm, there's no one else around us, just us. And taking a nice couple of deep breaths. Okay, and all I need you to do, as I said, is just visualise in your mind, humour me. And you don't have to be a psychic. Imagine a little ball of light in the centre of your belly. Imagine this light getting bigger and bigger, and brighter and brighter. You start filling up your body with this white light energy, all the way to the top of your head, on your legs, on your arms. I want you to imagine yourself glowing like the ready button. And honestly, any spirits, energies that are around, will be drawn to where your energy is, seeing you, especially in this location. Nice and relaxed. Count to 3 and just open your eyes. Should be nice and chilled out. So who's quite brave out of all of you? What's your name again?
Oh, Camilla.
Camilla. Do us a favour. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared to talk to them. So just say hi, say your name. Say, hi, my name's Camilla. If there's anyone there, give us a sign. Just nice and relaxed.
Hi, my name's Camilla. If anyone's there, give us a sign. Don't want to go there.
Then if you saw that, you could say, have you been to prison?
Have you been to prison? Is that what you're trying to tell us? Talk to the box if you don't want to talk to me or anyone else. Just let us know you're here.
If there's any energy spirits that are around us now, we don't mean you any harm. We've come up here, it's too bloody light to go in the forest. Can you come down and give us a sign that you're around? Come and make a noise? Okay, who else is quite brave about Barley?
Depends what you want to do.
I would nearly pick you to start with, actually,
idea.
so you can go in the forest after. Do us a favour.
When it comes to spiritual stuff, it won't just be a ghost that walks down. It'll be really, really subtle.
Yeah.
It'll be really calm.
Come and tell us your name. Come and make a sound. What's her name? What's that? Suzanne. Suzanne, would you call out while you're there, please?
Said Betty before.
The rabbit running away from someone up there.
I'll tell you, I won't put it in your head. From what we've been told, there's almost like a Victorian girl that's been seen skipping down this path, all the way down to the bottom. You feel alright now, yeah? Where the fishes start.
Yeah, right up there.
Where it bends on.
I've got that anxious feeling as well.
It's in your chest, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not scary, but you can feel it in your chest.
Are you talking to her, Vicky?
I'm not all anxious when you get butterflies, don't you?
It's down there, but it sounded like, like when we stand on.
Well, we heard something before, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's when I looked at you. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was there when I was stood there. That's why I turned right round.
Has the box gone off?
Nice and calm and relaxed. Okay? Close your eyes, just take a couple of 10 seconds or so. Just be aware.
Who are you?
If there's anyone with us now, would you please come forward and let us know if that's you asking questions? Can you say someone's name or say something to us? And we'll tell you what, we'll all go around the circle and call out. Hello, is there anyone there? Give us a sign. Go on, you can say.
Hello, if there's anyone there, can you give us a sign? We mean you no harm.
Yeah, don't wait for me. Just yeah, keep going.
Is anyone there? Give us a sign, make a noise. Touch one of us.
If anyone's here, can you touch one of these boxes or speak into one of these boxes?
Is that someone's stomach?
I heard something. It's like a mum.
Someone needs a Macca's. Go on, Joe.
Is there anybody there? Would you like to make the cap or flash or talk into one of the boxes or touch one of us just to let us know you're there?
When a ghost is supposed to touch you, it's supposed to feel like cobwebs.
Yeah, I've
You know,
heard that before.
yeah, so when you walk in, it's supposed to feel like cobwebs.
Is anybody around? Please give us a sign. Go on, come face again. You're around.
Implanted her face.
Is it?
How's everyone feeling? Alright? Cold. I'm not too bad today. Okay. Who's quite brave out of all of you? Oh yeah. You go, Kev. Would you just take a look?
There was a chain hanging up there. Up
The chain? Oh yeah.
yeah. I'm looking at it before it was swaying. So I can...
When you stood in it like this, like we're all concentrating. What was it? Pratt.
Trap.
Not brat.
Trapped.
How can we untrap you?
It's like prison.
Sometimes it's experience of like, be aware of where you're drawn. And like when you stood here, it was like someone was watching behind. So when you always get that feeling, send someone there. You know what I mean? Going, yeah, because it's not you. Okay, Kevin, before we move on, do you want to just call out while you're there and we'll just be quiet?
Is there anybody there who wants to talk to us? You get like the cat ball up or tokens on the boxes or touch me because I'm right next to the train now. If you don't mind. That's going to be.
She was actually arrested 25 years later. She was let free. She was the only one in the family that got out. Everyone else was left outside. 25 years later, there was a gentleman with a child that lived in this area called Edmund. I only remember him, darling, because it's bloody lying much in the wardrobe. Edmund. And he actually said that he saw a lady come out and change form into a hare and jump all over the place and dart off. He was late home, so that was his excuse. And unfortunately, because he was believed, she was arrested and she was taken to Lancaster, and she was taken to Lancaster, but they don't know if she was executed. They just know that she was arrested, and they don't even know if it was her. They just know the name Alison Device was on the book, The Witchcraft, 25 years after.
And was she wrong or?
They don't know. That completely disappeared. The name from history. It was just that she was arrested, for witchcraft 25 years after. Gave evidence. Okay, so come on, walk towards us. Come and give us a sign that you're there.
What's missing?
We just want you to come forward. Walk down the hill towards us. Come and say someone's name. This is your chance to come and speak to someone. Backenhorn. Rope.
That's twice that's come up now.
Rope.
By the tree. This is the hanging tree.
For it to come up twice is really rare as well.
Is it saying?
It never does that.
Look at the chain that you saw before. Is it doing anything with the chain? Where's that chain?
There. Literally just there, hanging. See this branch right above me? There's another. Okay, if there's anyone around, we've only got a couple of minutes left before we leave. Can you give us a sign that you're there? Can you come close to where we are? In this forest? Can you come and touch someone? Make a sound? Cottages are down there, so they lived in a variety of different areas. So Malkin Tower would have been in between here and the reservoir, which is literally just over the other side of the hill. And allegedly, depends who you argue with, because I argue with everyone about it, Malkin Tower was in the middle. So the whole walkway was supposed to be this path. Now, I'm a massive believer that spirits, when they die, they have ability to travel and they can go where they want. Now, Lancaster, if you've ever been in it, it's horrible. And where they died and where they were incarcerated was a tiny 20-foot by 20-foot cell. It was tiny. I think it was 20-foot by 10-foot. Sorry, 4 months.
Is anyone called
Before they were
Lynn?
executed. So I believe they come back and they have a walk. This village that these people still do.
They have the ability to visit anywhere they've been, don't they?
Yeah.
Or anywhere where they're welcome to walk.
Yeah, pretty much
Yeah,
so.
they're powerful.
Pretty much so.
So we've got Asia.
Just shout, oi oi. Always, don't be afraid. Just say what you want to say. Just ask them if they're there, around you, come close to you.
Well, who's Lynn?
Ask who Lynn is.
There was a light just flashed behind her then. Not the car, not the car.
See a light.
It wasn't the car, it was just a little, it was near the floor.
I've probably got it on this.
No, all the words are...
And to get the same words keep coming up, it's not normal.
That's not normal, is it?
No.
No, because it should be, it's like it's random to get the same word.
It's almost like they're trying to choose
Yeah.
that word,
Yeah.
trying to tell you something.
Come on, if you're there, can you go close towards Camilla before we leave? Because you're stood there. Go and stand next to her.
Says, are you a friend?
Yes.
Yes.
Major.
Major.
You don't want to touch one of the others?
Ah,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's,
Hello?
You have to touch that for it to go off.
it's like one of these, it's like a motion sensor.
See if you can make
Why
it
is
go
that going off?
brighter.
You have to physically touch it. You can't go off any other way.
Yeah, you have to physically.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, you've missed this.
Just said John.
Can you do that again for us, please?
See if you can
Does that mean
affect
they're
it.
face from over here?
It means something's touched
Something's touched this.
the aerial on that box on the floor.
Okay.
That's a fresh battery in it as well. isn't it? It shouldn't be going off.
If
Very
that,
hard to make them go off.
okay. If that was you, could you do it again? Yeah. Camilla, you fine?
Yeah, fine.
So that only goes off if you actually touch it.
You have to physically touch it, yeah.
You're angry.
There's no other way.
Why?
at all.
He's angry and you said you're mad. You're trapped.
Is it angry on that one?
It's
missing again.
Loads of
He's
times
done that
missing.
before. Who's missing?
Maybe missing their family.
Maybe. You can actually sit that thing for hours. It won't do anything.
I know.
That's brilliant.
I've seen it go off. At Kill the Castle, I've seen it go off.
Yeah.
Really like because there was kids there as well.
No, you can blow on it. You can jump around it. Nothing.
What have you been doing at home with it?
Practicing.
Honestly, we filmed a bit for hours and got nothing at all.
Really?
We have
Yeah.
lots of dolls at our house that are
You got haunted
supposedly
dolls and
haunted
stuff.
and they
No.
set them off.
Uh-oh. Face. Does someone's face feel weird?
Yours did before, John.
Yeah.
John. Who's John?
John.
Oh, John.
Okay, we're going to leave you. Is there anything you want to do? Something before we go. One last thing. Make a sound, a noise, a flash of light, touch someone.